Thanks, Jason. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a sense of anticipation we have here at the Crucible. We are closing in on the coronation of the Betfair World Snooker Championship. We have a truly historic session of snooker in store, and the atmosphere is electric. Please welcome a player who has been outstanding in this, his first World Final. This is the stage he dreamed of when he first picked up a cue. Many people said this match would almost be over this afternoon, but he is still right in the hunt. This performance today could define a lifetime's work. Can he close in on one of the greatest upsets in Crucible history? Ladies and gentlemen, raise the roof for the eagle-eyed Barry Hawkins! And his opponent, we may never see another like him here at the Crucible. What a star, what a talent, what a career. He's already produced 4 centuries in this match, and he may need more to secure a 5th world crown. Victory here today would surely rank as one of snooker's all-time great performances. Can he do what many said was absolutely impossible? Ladies and gentlemen, he's your defending champion. Blink and you'll miss him! The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Well, Ronnie and Barry's families are both here for this afternoon session. You just can't beat this sometimes. Fantastic. Best of 35 frames final. We have another 8 frames to play this afternoon and the possibility of 10 more this evening. Now, we know the good weather may have a draw for you today, but we reckon this final has even greater pulling power. It certainly does for Ken Doherty and John Virgo. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Hazel.
Thank you,
good afternoon, everybody. And this is the final day of the Betfair World Championship, and what a tournament it's been for Barry Hawkins. Now, what has he got left in the locker against the genius, really, that is Ronnie O'Sullivan? But he's stayed with him so far, Ken.
Yes, he certainly had. He's done fantastically well, stood up to the challenge. And how crucial will that last frame be, John? Last night, the black ball finish gave Ronnie a little bit of light between him and Barry Hawkins. There you see the long pot success, 93% from O'Sullivan, 92% from Barry Hawkins. What a wonderful atmosphere. Both players, and a fantastic ovation they received coming into this wonderful Crucible theatre. And there's a very interesting spectator, Ronnie Jr. in the middle there. That's Ronnie's son. I wonder what he's thinking.
He went for it. He thought the only red he could leave was the one he was playing, and that's the one he's left. This is it, as I say. If you get close to the jaws, the red would have stayed at this end, but it didn't. And he's left Ronnie an easy starter.
1.
That's a little bit careless. He played on the blue. Now, whether he just assumed the blue was on its spot, but he's overran and he's looking at the pink. It's a bit more difficult.
Seven.
Looks to be a little bit straight on this red. Down the right hand cushion. Would have loved to have a lovely angle, just come off 2 cushions for the black. May decide to go back up the table.
8.
Again, wrong side of the blue. And that will certainly annoy him. Plenty of room to work for there.
As you can see there, when we moved in over Ronnie's shoulder, as Ken said, he was too straight on the blue to do anything. And the problem is,
13.
He's on this red to the right corner, but I don't think the black's that accessible. Good shot needed if he's going to play for it. Well, decided
14.
to try and screw back and finish on the pink. Misjudged it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 14.
There's a man who knows all about World Championships. Absolute genius on the dartboard. Phil Taylor. And of course, Stephen Fry, legend. And Damien Hirst, who's a big supporter of Ronnie's. Always here at the tournament backstage. And just talking about Damien Hirst, Ken, I mean, it's good to have somebody with you because it's quite a lonely life otherwise, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been great company for him. And it's always nice to have somebody in your dressing room, someone you can talk to, and someone helping you relax. And certainly that man has been a great friend to Ronnie.
One.
Well, he would have loved to just kiss that blue just another maybe inch or so. He's still okay on the blue, but just because the cue ball is so close, it makes it a little bit more difficult. He's got to be careful he doesn't push this. Well, that's an excellent shot. It's so difficult, those shots. As we look at the fantastic opening
6.
red.
Seven.
I think he may have overdone this. Needs to slow up to be on the pink. He's a little unlucky there, in all honesty, but he just didn't judge how it came off the second red. Where's the cue ball going? Close, but I'll tell you what, he's done well to get this far
13.
up the table.
Yeah, he's going to require another good shot with the rest here because these are so tricky. And he can drop onto the black here. Oh, excellent shot. That's a fantastic shot.
14.
He's on the black and he's got a nice angle to hold the cue ball with the reds just to the left of the black here. Oh, that's a wonderful shot. Excellent shot. And now set up a fantastic opportunity here for
21.
Ronnie. That was well controlled, John. Excellent shot.
Yeah, and it always amazes me the red he played with the rest. You know, he plays so many shots left-handed, you think using the rest would be a weakness. He doesn't use it that often, but it just doesn't seem to be any department of the game that he's weak in.
.22.
Well, that was a strange shot. Do you know, I really think he was undecided there which ball to play for. And in the end, it's finished. Well, not good on the black, not good on the pink, looking at the difficult blue. And it found him out. It found him out.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Poor
22.
positional shot off the red, as I say. I think he played it before he decided which ball to play on.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he didn't like try and, even when he was potting that red, is try and get even between the pink and the black. It looked like he was trying to come up the table and have the pink into one of these bottom corner pockets, but landed in nowhere land. Now if he pots that red and leaves the cue ball between pink and black, he's got a good choice, but landed in no man's land. Chance for Barry Hawkins.
1.
Yeah. A good pot, that. Unfortunately, Barry comes to the table and there's those 4 reds that are near the top cushion. They're out of commission. Obviously, the 3 reds to the in between the pink and black. One of them will go. He's just not got the right angle on the pink. He's going to have to do a bit of work with the cue ball here. Played the cannon, and I think it's okay. He's going to be slightly hampered by the black, but I don't think
7.
he has to do much with the cue ball, so it makes this a little bit easier. He's trying to see if he could slip by the side of the black, but as I say, he doesn't have to do much to get position.
8.
Played it very well.
Come back.
Yeah, a
15.
couple of reds and colours, but the problem will be, as you said, John, those 4 reds close to the top cushion.
16.
Now when he puts this pink, and try and get a nice angle off that red that's just to the left of the black. If he leaves the cue ball, when he puts this pink, he gets onto the red. He's just got to leave the cue ball almost exactly where the red is now. If he leaves it exactly where the red is now, when potting the red,
22.
he'll have a lovely angle on the black to try and disturb these 4 reds.
23.
And I think, John, these 2 reds just to the left here, they are, one of them is going towards this left-hand corner pocket. So a nice connection on this red, and one of these should be over the corner pocket here. Well, he's overhit it.
30.
Yeah, it certainly didn't turn out as he would have wanted. In actual fact, he only released one of the reds. He was hoping to bring 2 or 3 of them into play, but he's run out of position. But he's right back in it, just 6 points behind. Oh, he should have put that red near the side
30.
cushion. That's a dangerous thing to leave Ronnie a red like this. That red should have been tight against the side cushion. He gives Ronnie an opportunity here. Good cueing needed, but we know what he's capable of. Well, he's missed it, and once that red run along the top cushion and hit the 3 reds, he could have left something easy on here. Wasn't happy with that one. Yeah, asking for the extended rest, so the pink has come to Ronnie's rescue for the red in the middle of the table. Big day for the Hawkins family. On the right, his father Steve. Next to him is his mother Caroline. And next to the mum, sister Tanya. What a day it is for them, and they'll be so proud of Barry and so proud of the way he's performed in this match when most people were writing him off. Got to be careful here he doesn't knock a red over the right corner. Well, he knew it was going towards the right corner, so he played it with enough pace to come on and off the cushion. Needs to get a better length than that. Okay, the last long red that you left Ronnie missed, but he's not going to keep missing them. The blue's just making it slightly awkward. Well, this time he went for it, and he's not got away with it. It run across and developed the reds. What a chance this is now for Barry Hawkins. He looks at the scoreboard, Barry, as we watch that, and it run across, released the red. He's looked at the scoreboard. If he can get high value colours with these 4 remaining reds. He may not need the green.
Yeah, he was doing his calculations, wasn't he? 4 reds, 4 blacks. 6 behind before he came to the table. That will put him 26 ahead with 27 on, so he will need the yellow. It's one of those situations where players are thinking 4 or 5 shots ahead, you know, doing the calculations,
8.
wondering, there he goes, look, he's having a look at the scoreboards. He's working it out in his mind, exactly what he's going to need before Ronnie possibly need a snooker. 4 reds, 4 blacks and a yellow, 28 in front, 25 on the table. And I suppose the good thing from
9.
Barry Hawkins' point of view, that red on the left hand side of the table is not too bad for a left-hander.
Now imperative in potting this red, he gets a good angle on the black
16.
to drop on that awkward last red. Now I'm looking at his body language. Has he just got enough angle? I think he has, just to force it over. Perfect. Well, can he reach without
24.
having to use the rest?
Yep.
I thought he may be able to come from it from the side, but he's using the rest. He's got the perfect angle on the red. And as Ken said, by taking blacks with these remaining reds, he only needs the yellow to leave Ronnie needing a snooker. Well played, and he's finished nicely on the black. So the black and the yellow will put him in the snooker's required stage. He studied that scoreboard long and hard when he first came to the table. He knew what he had to do. And he's done really well here.
32.
And looks very comfortable in a nice, comfortable zone, he seems to be, to me, Ken.
Yeah, he's got a nice momentum, composure. Nice angle on this yellow as well to try and nudge this green towards this middle pocket. And that'll do. Nice shot. Brings the green into play.
Yeah, and of course he knows the importance, although one snooker needed, it's not the biggest order. He wants this green in. And in it goes! Superb pot!
Well, have a look at this for a shot. Needs to run a little bit more, but
Yeah, it won't matter now, because no matter what happens, Ronnie will concede. And Ronnie had a great chance in the frame. He just played a very loose positional shot, which will have annoyed him. But Barry Hawkins took the opportunity and looked really solid. He's just 2 behind now. 10-8, O'Sullivan.
And from the tension and the intensity inside the Crucible, here we are in the Winter Gardens on the last day of the championship, and it's beautiful in here. And obviously what I'm looking at, pretty as a picture, Steve, John and Stephen, clearly. Steve, what a terrific start from Barry Hawkins. Terry Griffiths says this man is a real fighter, and he's really showing this so far in this final, isn't he?
Yes, and he took his chances well there, because obviously Ronnie O'Sullivan was the person that should have and could have won that frame. And perhaps that's the first frame we've seen of this final where a player's got out in front and actually not sort of converted what was a relatively easy chance at this level. And it's come from Ronnie O'Sullivan. It wasn't necessarily just one clearance to get back in from Barry Hawkins, but he did his job very well.
Well, it was a tight one, obviously, and last night's final frame of the session, John, was absolutely massive in the overall context of this match. When you've been through something like this and you've come out of that on the losing end of that frame, how much does it play on your mind when you've got an overnight to think about it all?
In a funny way, it probably wasn't a bad thing to have the overnight to think about, because you wouldn't want to carry on the match when it was going on, so it can work both ways, that. But it was a brilliant frame of snooker. But that response today, first frame, that is top class. I had a couple of people speak to me out at the hotel the other day, and they said, oh, this one, he won't win 10 frames. What do they think now?
Oh, absolutely. And Stephen, we talked yesterday about the fact that this final in itself is a marathon. What's your attitude coming into the second day of the final? How does it change?
Monday, now you realise you're in the final. It feels more like a final. You see all the VIPs and everybody turning up. It just the whole buzz of the place is different from the first day.
Well, it's certainly buzzing in here, and it's certainly buzzing in the Crucible Theatre.
Yes, Ronnie has made an excellent break off there. Not left a pot on. And we're just giving you a look at what Barry's seeing from the balk end. He's got that red on the left-hand side of the table. Wouldn't be playing that. And just looking at it, it doesn't look like there's a return to the balk end. So he's looking to play a containing safety.
yes, and the only problem about playing that containing safety shot is, of course, that red behind the black. Normally you try and leave the cue ball down on the black cushion as we look, but that red is far enough off that black cushion to be in a good position to pot, so he can't do that. So he's in a precarious situation here. He's decided to leave that red, and that may be a mistake. He didn't want to. He contemplated a few different shots. There's no gimme down this cushion. Quite tricky, but he has left the other red, of course, over the yellow pocket as well. But Ronnie would love to take this one on and get on the black.
Yeah, nicely played. quite certain what Barry Hawkins had in mind on his last safety shot, but it went all wrong, and he knows he can't offer up easy starters for Ronnie. I don't know if he can pot this red and come for the black. Looks like he's going back up for the blue.
9.
Just a bit short on the blue again. He's just having a little bit of problem with the pace of the table at the start of the session.
$14. 15.
Well, just about on the yellow. A bit thicker on the brown. He may have been on nothing.
$17. 18.
You'd love to get the cue ball somewhere in around that little circle I put up there. A couple of reds to go at. Just about perfect. And take the 1, I think, directly above the black first. And the only reason I say that is he may
24.
use the loose one now to maybe develop, after he pots this black, develop some more reds. Leave a nice angle, possibly low on it. Now will he go into the pack? Just
31.
slide off the bottom of that small little pyramid. The pink is possibly on into the right centre. And that's what he's looking at. He wants to bring some more reds and see if he'll be on the pink still in the right centre if he doesn't get on the black. Just looks a little straighter than he would have liked on this red.
$32.
Well, as you say, he wasn't happy with the angle, and I think that red just below the pink is available, so that's maybe why he decided not to risk anything. And the fact that Jan Verhaas has asked him just to hold on a minute means that the pink spot's not available. So it goes as close to its own spot as it can in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. And there's the magnificent Crucible Arena as we see Jan facing that pink.
39.
And certainly the top red goes to the right middle. And that's what he's played for. Normally Ronnie's the type of player who goes into the reds at
46.
the first opportunity, but it just shows you, Ken, how
47.
focused he is. He'd be disappointed to lose that first frame, and he doesn't want to, you know, make any mistakes here.
Yeah, absolutely. Big key shot now. He just didn't get the backspin required. And again, he'll be disappointed he didn't win the frame from that position. As we watch it again, just needed that bit more power on the cue ball.
Yeah, catching that red full in the face just took all the pace out of it, didn't it? And if it had caught the red half ball, we'd have had a bit more backspin left on, but...
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 54.
Without taking any undue risks, he's built up a lead of 54.
Yeah, 54 and a red on the side cushion, but Barry Hawkins will be taking this red off the side cushion and back into open play. Could be snookered here, Ronnie. Nice, good shot.
Just coming off the side cushion to nestle on the red near the baulk cushion. Won't give him any advantage. Right, if you hit as well as that, you can stop your opponent from playing any kind of safety shot. Could not have hit that better. Perfect line, perfect length. Don't think Barry can put distance between this red and the cue ball. Got to get that cue out of the way quick.
Foul. Thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, that was very admirable, wasn't it? And that's one of the great many things we have in our sport. Barry announced he fouled the ball even before Jan Verhaest, our referee, saw the foul himself. But what's worse for Barry Hawkins, he's left this red into the right centre.
Nice control pot, and it's run in and out of baulk. He's nicely on the green. The reds he needs to clinch the frame, they're possible. He'll be disappointed if he doesn't win this frame now.
Four. Five.
Just this black to go 70 points ahead with just 67 remaining.
$12. $13.
And that just means that Barry Hawkins will not bother coming back to the table in this frame.
$18. $19.
Average frame time, eh? Just over 15 minutes. You wouldn't like him playing in your snooker club, would you, Ken?
No, the bill wouldn't be that big, would it?
He's having a go at this red, but...
Oh, what a shot! Super shot. "15 minutes of frame."
33. 34.
Used to take Terry Griffiths that long just to break off, didn't it?
Yeah, I think in those days we used to sort of work on an average frame time of
41.
about 26, 27 minutes.
42.
But you're talking about a man here who's made a maximum break in this arena in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And yesterday
49.
he became the man who's had more century breaks here than
51.
anyone else. He's on 129 centuries just at the Crucible, breaking Stephen Hendry's
54.
record, which was 127.
$58.
He'd be very pleased getting this frame, particularly after what happened in the last frame. And it looks to be queuing just where he left off
63.
yesterday. Everything going into the middle of the pocket. Free-flowing mood.
Yeah, and I think what's been
69.
impressive to me in this. Just that steely determination. You know, he's, as I say, he didn't take a lot of chances. He didn't make 100, but he made breaks of 54 and finished off with a 76. Young Ronnie will be pleased. Well done, Dad. He's now 3 frames in front again. 11-8.
And not just big applause in the Crucible, but also outside the Crucible Theatre. This is Tudor Square in the heart of Sheffield, and you can see lots of people sitting here enjoying the beautiful bank holiday sunshine. They're having a few drinks and watching the wonderful BBC output on the big screen. 2 fellas who are shouting for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Today we've got Shannon and Peter, who've come from Northern Ireland to watch the World Championships. What have you made of it so far, the final, Shannon?
It's been a great final. It's really close, and hopefully it could go all the way.
Peter?
Yeah, similar thoughts. I've been really enjoying it. First sessions yesterday were quite tighter than I thought, and so just looking forward to the rest of the day, really.
Question is, why are you outside? Why aren't you inside?
Well, tickets are in scarce supply, but thankfully we're lucky enough to get some tickets for tonight, so looking forward to it.
So you're going in tonight. Who's your money on?
Ronnie by 3 or 4 at least.
I think it could be close. Hawkins has looked good, and he came out strong in the last session there.
We can't have all Ronnie fans. Let's have a chat to a Barry Hawkins fan here. Hello, what's your name?
My name's Sammy.
OK, Sammy, so why are you supporting Barry Hawkins when everybody else appears to be supporting the Rocket?
I just think he's come a long way in the competition. He's done really well. He's done a lot of comebacks as well from being quite far behind. And I just think somebody should win for a change other than Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Enjoy your afternoon. Thank you very much.
Poor break-off shot from Barry. He's just got to tighten up on his safety. Can't keep leaving Ronnie these chances. He's disappointed. And when you consider he tried to come this side of the blue to get to the baulk cushion, and he went the other side, that's how he misjudged the break-off.
Yeah, of course, and let Ronnie in with an easy chance in the last frame as well. But this is certainly not an easy chance, and the fact that there's no straightforward path down the baulk around the back of the black, that's why I think Ronnie has decided against taking this long putt on. Well, at first glance it looks that he may have covered this red in the corner pocket. Body language from Barry Hawkins tells us that that red is covered. He's having a look at this one down into the bottom right hand corner pocket.
He'll have to pull off some shot here though, because it's so straight. The only colour he could possibly get on is the blue. And as I say, that is some shot to get the cue ball back up for the blue. Go 7'9" from cue ball to object ball. He's got to strike this as well as it is anything. Oh, and that's absolutely superb. You can forgive him for being the wrong side of the blue. The most important thing was pot the red and give yourself a chance of a colour. And we say with these superfine cloths, see how you get the bounce. Found a path, but needs to slow down or a good kiss required.
6.
Overhit it. Pity. Great opening red, but only 6 points.
Barry Hawkins 6.
Well, is he on this red? And if he is, does he have an angle? It looks pretty straight to me. Might have to force an angle on this red.
as you say, it looks very straight, and if you were trying to pinch a little bit, you'd want to hit the red slightly on the left as we look, and the blue maybe stopping that.
This could go in off. Yeah, could go in off. Just tried to force the angle, didn't he?
Good straight cueing was needed, but once he hit the red in the middle of the pocket, the white was always going to follow it in. Now here's a chance for Barry. He's potted one terrific long red already at his last visit. This time he doesn't have to put that much into the cue ball because he can stun through for the black. Well, how far did he miss that by? Unbelievable.
Settle down,
Okay,
please.
the green may have just been pulling him off slightly, but boy, that was a long, long way away. He was almost embarrassed. There's a red here for the right corner for Ronnie, but I'm not certain where the colour comes from.
One.
Tried to run past the black and kiss the red to the left of it, but not on anything that you'd think you'd go for. It's not the most straightforward of shots because of that red that's near the left middle, and he's just thinking if I leave the cue ball tight on the top cushion, then this red won't be a tempter. Well, it won't be a tempter now because the black somehow has come down and blocked the red. But he was going to leave him the red anyway, thinking, well, he can roll the red along the cushion, but he's not going to get a colour off it.
Yeah, if that black was open and the red could pass by it, it would have been straightforward for Barry Hawkins, but that's tied everything up now. Needs to slow up that cue ball. Well, can he get through to the red closest to the yellow pocket? Hawkeye's view. He is on the red into the bottom corner pocket, the yellow pocket as we call it, but the problem is that red that's closest to the left middle, just before it, that's the danger should he miss.
The one thing about Ronnie, you see people have thinking time about a shot, but you know that he'll be thinking of something that will put his opponent in trouble here. Well, tight on the top cushion would have been better. Barry just having a look to see if there's a possibility of potting the red to the left middle and being able to find the potting angle on the black. Just gone a bit scrappy this frame, the black are not on its spot, pink tied up, blue near the side cushion. But that pace, never easy for the pocket to accept it. There's an easy shot here. If Ronnie, as we watch that again, A bit slower, it'd have gone in. Just stun the red into the black, and the red should go up the table. So he's left the cue ball tight on the top cushion. Barry with a problem.
Yeah, that was a very clever shot, wasn't it? Bringing the black into play as well. And because he's so tight on this cushion, he can't get the cue ball back in a similar position to where he is now, and that's where he'd love to be. I've replayed this shot, but it's so difficult now.
This is where snooker is a very funny game sometimes. You can put someone in real trouble, as Barry is here. And he's looking at all the options of getting a decent safety. And then all of a sudden, sometimes, Ken, you get to a situation and think, well, I can't get it safe, but there is a pot to the right middle. Is it better to play the risky pot than the risky safety? And so many times we've seen people go for the pot, knock it in, and have a frame-winning chance.
Yeah, he hasn't really looked at that, has he? Into the right-hand corner pocket. It's a tough angle.
Well, he feels that just touching that red, he's not leaving anything for Ronnie to go at, which is the best he could do, the situation he was in.
Ronnie may try and get him back into that same position again now. Needs to be tight on this cushion though. And the fact that he's not tight, Barry can dig down on the cue ball, but he is contemplating this red into the right centre, one that you mentioned earlier, John. Again, that's a very, very tough pot, should he miss it. Virtually handing another frame to Ronnie O'Sullivan. I think he can dig down on the cue ball to try and get it back to somewhere close to this back cushion.
Well, he's not got it tight to the top cushion, but I don't think he's left anything easy for Ronnie. And of course now, all the covers that are available are all in the other half of the table, so as I say, this game's going a little bit scrappy. Well, that's a fluke, and that's what he didn't want, believe me, because the good safety shot that Ronnie's played, he's got to play it himself now. He's the one in trouble. For once, a fluke didn't help.
Quite incredible, wasn't it? Get a fluke. Put the red in there and leave yourself in trouble. And now, again, he's in the problem that Barry Hawkins was a few moments ago, but he's trying to see if he can leave the cue ball here in the top cushion. But there's a couple of reds both into left and right centre that will be available for Barry, and that's what he's afraid of. Pink does pot into left centre. Again, it may be one of these shots that you spoke about, John. He may be forced into having a go at this. He's sizing it up.
Yeah, you can see his mind ticking over, can't you? Is the safety guaranteed? He's just looking to see if he can get through to the blue and maybe not leave one of those reds you mentioned into the centre buckets. Now having a look once again at the potting angle on the pink.
Yeah, as well as the difficulty of this pot. Watch the cue ball, it will be going close to the green pocket.
Well, we talk about costly flukes, but not the other way round. What a chance this is now for Barry.
One.
Chance to get the black back on its spot. The pink's now in the open.
Eight. Nine. Thanks.
Oh, he's come a bit straight on the black, but because the red's in the middle of the table, it shouldn't hamper him too much, just to play a screw shot on and off the side cushion.
$16.
Just coming up to 5 hours match time.
70.
This is a great chance and one you feel that he's got to take. The reds he needs are all in potable positions. He's now got the pink and black back on the spots. The blues in the balk end. So he can get that back on its own spot whenever he wishes.
24. $29. 30.
Just about perfect on the blue. As long as he's got the right angle, he can hold for either of these reds, either side of the pink. Now a 43-point lead.
35.
3 reds required.
$36.
Maybe a little bit disappointed to come straight, but as he's got the red near the baulk line, near the green spot, shouldn't cause him a problem. As I say, they preferred an angle.
$41. 42.
Yeah, that was a nice pot right in the heart of the pocket. 50 points ahead. Brown, red, and that should be enough to secure this frame for Barry Hawkins. He's let that one go a little bit too close to the cushion, more than he would have liked.
46.
But just this red. He's missed it. He's missed it. Yeah, he just got too close to the cushion there. Now, 54 points behind, 59 remaining on the table.
he's not got many points to play with here, Ronnie, so this is the big problem he's got. The Reds are in reasonable position, but they're at the wrong end of the table for him. Trying to force the cue ball. Unless he gets a good kiss, he's not on anything.
8.
Nothing easy anyway. He may have this red to this left corner pocket, but he needs pinks or blacks. Marvellous shot. Not perfect on the black.
Yeah, nice pot, wasn't it? Just a little bit low on this black. If we can get close to this red on the left-hand side of the table, anywhere in behind it, close to the cushion, and try and get it into the right centre. Yeah, needs to go a little bit, get behind it, and he's got it into the right centre. He's played that almost perfect. Just calculating the scores, he can possibly take a brown. He's 38 points behind. Red and brown, left needing the last red with a pink or black. That's why he's gone up for the blue. Needs to run.
17.
We can't get close to this red.
Well, that's what he's thinking of now. As I say, it was always going to be difficult because he didn't have that many points to play with. He's looking at the scoreboard now. Pots the blue. He'll go 32 points behind. So off this last red, it's got to be blue or above if he's going to win the frame at this visit.
22.
And what a clearance this would be.
Played there.
23.
Absolutely fantastic shot. Have a look at this. That's cueing at its finest. Around the angles here. Well, is he going to leave the long yellow? I thought he might go around off a few cushions trying to get close to this yellow, but he's going to require now another good pot.
28.
There you see it, 26 behind, 27, and Barry, of course, will be sitting in his seat, suffering, because he only needed that one red. He missed his chance. Will he get another? Well, has he got an angle on the screen?
What a shot he's just played there. Cued that in so nicely. Needs side. Watch the side. Absolutely perfect on the black. What a shot. He's pulling them all out of the fire here. This will hurt Barry Hawkins. This could be the turning point in this
37.
final. Barry Hawkins led by 54 with 50 remaining. What a clearance this would be.
42.
He's not come perfect on the pink. A little short.
Played that with a tremendous amount of right-hand side, and now the black to win the frame by 1 point and make Barry Hawkins really regret missing that frame ball red. In it goes. It doesn't get much better than that. Believe me, that was a sensational clearance. No points to spare. Absolutely brilliant. Barry Hawkins had his chance. Missed one red, and that was enough for Ronnie O'Sullivan now to go 4 clear. 12-8. What a frame.
A sensational clearance there from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and that really does tell you everything you need to know. But let's discuss where he was able to get in, Stephen. The miss from Barry.
Yeah, he played a slight positional shot, and he'd left the cue ball far too close to the cushion. I said before, he said this is missable. Just tweaked it a little bit, and missed it. But what a clearance. I mean, he'd never had a lot of points to play with, and fabulous clearance, and it'll take a lot of character for Barry to come back from that.
It will indeed, but the way he was able to go through the colours there, yellow and green.
I could, honestly, well, I could pick about 7 or 8 shots through it, you know, to prepare. But these 2 shots, if you decel on this shot, you miss the yellow. So you've got to get right through it, near the bottom, with enough cueing to hold the white just to get on there. And then when he's come on this angle on the green, it looks a little bit straight. But to hit this as pure, and to come back with the side on it to get on the brown is absolutely superb. It looks nothing there, but we've got to get right through this with the side and watch it kick off the cushion. Absolutely could not play that any better. Phenomenal.
Well, Graham Dott got 8 frames against Ronnie, 2004. Ali Carter got 8 frames against Ronnie, 2008. And Ken Doherty said, Stephen, he reckons that could be a turning point in the match.
Yes, certainly. And this is looking like it could be the best defence of a world title ever, from perhaps the most exceptional player we've ever seen in the game, and I think perhaps even the best player under pressure. Certainly is a favourite when it's easy to look over your shoulder and sort of panic that you're getting close to the finishing line. Desperately wants to win this to show how good a player he is. And he's shown every time he's been asked a question, guys come back at him. He's been producing all the tournament.
He is at warp speed now as we go back into the Crucible Theatre.
Yes, Ronnie breaks off, and the buzz in the crowd after that frame, that was electric, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
Just that bit of magic he produced there, wasn't it?
And some of the shots he played, we saw the yellow to green, green to brown, last red, up for blue. Fantastic clearance, and it could be the biggest frame of this final. It remains to be seen. It could be a turning point. It's going to take every little inch of steel in Barry Hawkins' character to come back from that now. But he's done it before. He was well down against Ricky Wallen. He has nerves of steel himself, but he's going to have to draw on them in this final to come back from frames like that, John. They hurt you so much.
Tremendous. We see all that potting at the end of the last frame, and just have a look at that for a safety shot. And they're so hard to judge how it comes off the top cushion. To find the baulk cushion as good as that, brilliant. As a safety success, I think with the safety and the potting, you know, you want to be looking at somewhere 90%. Tournament safety success is a bit low for Ronnie and a bit low for Barry. But Ronnie's up in it, certainly in this final. That's Barry's view from the baulk cushion. No easy path back to baulk there. And he knows he's got to get it safe. Well, a little tap on the table there from Ronnie, but Barry won't be happy with that result.
No, he certainly won't. He's left it almost dead straight red into the yellow pocket, and there's no pressure on this. Won't be leaving anything. Should he miss, he'd be perfect on the black. Should it go in? Oh, well, I said he won't be leaving anything, but what was the only possibility that he would leave? Nice red. Didn't hit it as hard as he possibly could. Good shot under the circumstances.
Yep, particularly after losing the last frame in the way he did. This opportunity is a must-take one, really. Just to prove to himself that he can get over reversals as he had in the last frame. He's a very, very tough competitor, as you said earlier, Ken, and you know, he's just got to produce now. No mistakes.
4.
There's a mid-session interval after this frame. It's a good chance. He's just checking to see. Well, the pink didn't go on his
10.
spot. It's gone on the black spot. That won't bother him too much, I don't think. Apart from the fact at the moment the pink's only available into the left corner, but he can play on this one off this red.
11.
Now he can just nudge the red to the top cushion, play for the red near the top cushion, and clear the pink for both corners. Only thing is it left him with quite a bit of angle on this red, so we give this pot every due care and attention.
8.
Nicely played.
So when he pots this red, that will release another red into the opposite corner pocket. He doesn't have to worry about going into the pack just yet.
$25.
But he has a nice angle. Now, he can easily screw back for the loose red directly above the cue ball at the moment, but he does have a nice angle if he wishes to go into the pack. Now, how's your look, Barry? There's the pink spot. If the pink spots, he's on nothing.
31.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that was the danger, wasn't it, of going into the cluster. He had a few loose reds to play for, and there was always the danger that he could clear the pink spot and put the pink out of play. But to not finish on a red, as you say, unlucky.
Well, can he pot this one into the bottom right-hand corner pocket? Got to be careful when the cue doesn't brush off the red he's bridging over. Is it there? Yes, it is.
33.
And he's okay. He's on the brown. Well, it looks like he has an angle on the brown to get back up for the reds. Oh, that was an excellent shot. Decided to stun it in rather than just
36.
run it in with top spin. And he's going to require another good pot here. This is good stuff from Barry Hawkins. Excellent cueing. Well played. Nicely on the blue.
He'd have loved to have been in a position where he could have played for the pink here, but it's back up for the blue.
43.
And he's just slightly short of pace, and it can make all the difference. If that had run on another couple of inches, it'd have been absolutely inch perfect and would have got close to the next red. Stephen Fry, his audience,
48.
absolutely loves snooker. Big fan of Steve Davis's. Of course, Phil Taylor has been in so many world finals, he'll be appreciating the nerves that are out there. And that
49.
is absolutely inch perfect. Very well played indeed. He knew he needed to be on the pink, but to get that gap. And now every reason to think that he'll win the frame at this visit. But remember the last one, he was just one red
55.
short. So that'll be in his mind.
56.
But considering, Ken, what happened to him in the last frame, you said he needed a response. What a response we've got.
Absolutely. Ronnie has posed the question. Well, looks like Barry has come up with the answer. This is fantastic stuff.
62.
Just this red to close the gap. Once again, excellent.
63.
Well played, Barry Hawkins. Excellent break.
Yes, it was very important for his confidence after the last frame, and as we keep saying, he's been behind. He was a long way behind in the match with Ricky Walden in the
69.
semi-final, but hung on in there, and he's hanging on in again. Tough competitor, and proving it here. His head could have dropped
70.
after losing the last frame, but he just seems to come on stronger. As I say, there's a mid-session interval after this, so it can be a positive
76.
mid-session talk with Terry Griffiths.
77.
And the century break would just be the icing on the cake.
83. 84.
He's already made one century break in the final.
90.
Oh, what a pity. But what a performance that is from Barry Hawkins. Ronnie just left him one chance, and that's all that the man from Ditton in Kent needed. And that was superb stuff. He's still 3 behind, but he'll go to a dressing room feeling an awful lot better. 12-9 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
You know, Barry Hawkins was an 80-to-1 shot before he turned up here in Sheffield. He'd never been past the second round, and it had taken him such a long time even to get there. 9 years, couldn't get here. 5 years, lost in the first round. 2 years in the second round. Here he is in a Crucible final. And I think what is so encouraging, Steve, is the fact that he's doing justice to his talents in this final.
Yeah, it's a fantastic performance. Yeah, the only problem is it's being overshadowed by Ronnie O'Sullivan, but what a great rearguard action. And if he was somehow to turn it around, what a storyline it would be.
It would be. John, assess the way he's gone about his business today, because what a daunting prospect it must have been even to have turned up in this final against Ronnie in this sort of form.
Absolutely. He was 6-1 for this final to win it. O'Sullivan was 1-7. You're walking out into all the superlatives we've been giving him all week. One of the sessions O'Sullivan played is nearly as good as I've ever seen anyone play, and you've got to win 18 frames against him. I think he's done a magnificent job so far, and he's far from out of this final.
Indeed. His record, Stephen, is not great. He's lost 5 matches against Ronnie, 1-1. In fact, it was really the first time he announced himself. He beat Ronnie in the 2002 Scottish Open, beat him 5-3, and he's never played him, really. He's never won since. So what do you make of his performance here?
I don't want to sound patronising, but he's gone right up in my estimations. I never thought he would compete in this final. I must admit, I was one of the people that thought it might not get to a 4th session, but incredible character, especially in that last frame. What Ronnie did to him in the frame previously, and to come back and win that frame 1 visit, brilliant.
John?
Oh, I mean, I have always thought he was a high-quality match player. I didn't really know he had this ability to compete in the cauldron of the Crucible, but he's doing a fantastic job.
OK, all right. He needs 6 more for a 5th world title. Dennis Taylor's warmed up the old vocal cords as we saw earlier, and he's about to leap into action again in the commentary box alongside Willie Thorne for these frames. Good afternoon, gents.
Very good afternoon, Hazel, and great to see Ronnie Jr. in the Q zone and his dad out here trying to defend his world title. Well, it's a pretty good length for the breakout shot, but there is a red for Ronnie to take on. But I must say that last frame, I thought Barry Hawkins was sensational. To come back and make a 90 break after losing the frame before was quite special. Now can Ronnie knock a long pot in here? Of course he can. One. Just shows the importance, really, of that break-off shot. He got a good length, but nothing safe when the players are potting like this.
You've got to find the top cushion, don't you? And he was very close to finding the top cushion there, but Ronnie was able to play the shot to nothing. He's on the choice of green or yellow. The green would have held better position. The two reds to the right of the pink look easy to get onto from the green. He's actually looking at playing the deep screw now and trying to get onto the two reds above the black, which you wouldn't blame him, because if he gets on those nicely. Well, still playing the same shot to run through this time, but left-handed running through, not bound to get perfect position. But that's okay.
Three. Four.
When he switches hands, it's quite amazing. He just looks so comfortable. Few players in the years gone by, people like Fred Davis. Well, myself, I used to switch hands because I didn't like the rest, but I tell you what, I couldn't. Could only play some shots left-handed.
12.
This fella can make century breaks with his opposite hand. Coming right in behind Ronnie O'Sullivan as he slots that black in.
$19. $20. $27.
Ronnie, as ever, leaving an angle on the black, albeit there is a loose red he can play for in the middle if he wants, but we know the key is here to not hit one of those reds full ball, but he's playing for the loose one. Unlike Ronnie to do that, he probably feels there's a better opportunity from possibly the blue or the yellow 35. To go into the bunch. Probably because that pack was a little bit flat at the back there, didn't fancy sticking on one of those reds.
He didn't drop on this red as he intended. He's got a little bit more to do with the cue ball to get a good angle on the blue.
But 36.
He made that look easy. As Willie said, it was difficult to go into them from the black, but to come in off two cushions and open them like that was a bit special. Already 41 points in the lead. It doesn't take him long to win a frame.
Yes, it seems every time that Barry does something special, like he did in the previous game and like he did in frames 13 and 14 with 80 and 133. All of a sudden Ronnie seems to think, oh, I've got to put the foot on the gas again. But every credit to Barry Hawkins for competing and competing well, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility he could still win the match. Obviously this frame looks like it possibly could disappear.
47. .48.
Already 55 ahead, so not that many more pots needed to open up a 4-frame advantage.
56.
We talk about Ronnie being such a natural player, and not only the way he pots balls, he just seems to fall into position as he walks around the table. He just seems to just be absolutely perfect. You know, he doesn't have any shuffling around. And
62.
No, it's possible that Ronnie has probably played better at some time or another here at the Crucible, but I think this year especially, a lot of players have been struggling with their position, but Ronnie O'Sullivan's position all this 2 weeks of this Betfair World Championship has been pinpoint. I think that's the key difference in this, isn't it? I mean, we know he's a great player, but his cue ball control has been immense.
70. .76. 77.
if he could make a century here, he would equal the highest number of centuries made in a final. It'll be 5. He's got a difficult red though, near the cushion.
84. 85. 92. 93.
And he's absolutely perfect on the difficult red.
99. 100.
Wow, that is unbelievable. That's his 12th century in this year's World Championship. He made 12 last year when he lifted the crown.
108.
And what a sensational break this has been. Not a lot Barry Hawkins could do about this.
111.
He got a reasonably good break-off shot close to the cushion. Ronnie knocked a long red in. End of frame.
115.
This could equal Barry's high break of the match, 133.
120.
And this is another record he's taken away from Stephen Hendry now. He's made the most centuries here at the Crucible. And now he's made more centuries in the final than Stephen Hendry.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that. He just got half a chance and he knocked the lot in. That was a fabulous 133 break from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's back to 4 in front again at 13-9. Well, what can you do about that? As I say, Barry Hawkins, one shot, and that was the end of frame. And it's amazing on these super fine cloths and with all the slow-mos we have these days, what happens on the snooker ball. Have a look at some of these where the balls bounce around. And in the old days, had you jumped up and over a ball, it would have been a foul. Now you'd have to jump an intervening ball for it to be a foul. But look at this, they just keep bouncing, and it shows you how accurate the players are. What about those shots, Willie?
Well, I mean, a lot of times it spoils the game, doesn't it, as far as it takes away the positional side of the players. And I don't know whether they should play with a thicker cloth, to be honest, to stop these bouncing balls. I know they look great on television, but they just spoil your position.
Thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So how good was O'Sullivan in the previous frame? The break of 133 as he breaks off in the 23rd frame. And the difference with Ronnie there, he's got the good length of cue ball and he's not actually left an easy pot on, but this is one that he may take on Barry Hawkins. The one down the cushion, he can run around 2 cushions and be on the black. I think these are the ones he's going to have to start to take now to get back into this match. I'm not too sure he can compete with O'Sullivan in the safety department. He's got to try and have to compete with him in the break building department now.
That's a very good safety from Barry Hawkins. Got to watch the double kiss here. Plays the safety. Nice push to red near the pocket, and he's going to hit the brown full ball. It's a bit of a chance for Barry. A lot of the crowd shouting encouragement. They want to see this final go all the way, but what are the chances of that? Needs a nice little nudge. That's not the one he wanted.
Because of the browns off its spot, Dennis, the yellow's made more difficult because he'd like to stun the cue ball on the direction of where the brown is now, to swing it around the table, but he can't do that now because the brown's where it is. That's why he's taking the more difficult green.
Just looking at the reds, he's got to get over the right side of the table, you would feel. I'm not sure if there's one available into the right corner, so he's got an awful long way to travel with the cue ball here. And that's a pretty good effort. He's played it with lots of right-hand side. He could do with a favourable little kiss here. And he's got it. Terrific shot. 4. Well, the family enjoyed that one. You got Steve, his dad, Caroline, his mum, Tanya, the sister.
5.
Well, they're more nervous than Barry is, that's for sure. I can tell you watching, and he's doing really well, Steve. You've got to be proud of him, yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of excellent pots played in this final, but that green to red there from Barry Hawkins, and we often say in commentary, you deserve what you get, and boy, he deserves everything he gets from this shot. Just a little bit of check side, just straightening it up to miss the kiss on the blue, and the weight to perfection.
13.
Just past the 1,000 points mark now, Barry. There's 2 entries in spectators. Noel Fielding, the professional comedian, and Serge from Kasabian. Big Mark Selby fan is Serge, the Leicester group. We've been disappointed not to see Mark Selby here, but we'd be pleased to be watching O'Sullivan and Hawkins in the final.
Yeah, I think he would have been expecting Mark to be in the final, but Barry Hawkins knocked out the current world #1. Yeah, they're up in the Champions Lounge, Willie, and they're charming people.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest rock bands in the country at the moment, Kasabian. Noel Fielding, of course, a very, very funny man. But this is not funny for Barry Hawkins at the minute. He's 13-9 behind. But an excellent chance here, but he needs an angle on the next black, and as we discuss about the pack at the being a little bit flat at the back, he's going to have to play a good shot
32.
from black to get into the reds. It'd be better to go into the pink.
Yeah, he's got one of your Willie's flat back packs there, so that's what he's thinking about.
Could he hold it for the pink, Dennis, here, if it's straight, this red? Well, it's not straight, I don't think.
He's had a look at the pink spot also there, so just needs one good positional shot here. And that's not bad.
33.
He can stun into these. He doesn't have to screw this. If you screw it, you will stick in the pack, but if you play it with stun, you should be able to open them up and not lose the cue ball. Let's see how he plays it. Well, he's going below center. That's the only problem with screwing it. You're coming away from the reds, where if you stun it, you sort of keep
40.
the white there.
O'Sullivan's the best in the world at that particular shot, Dennis, isn't he? Because he plays like a stun run through the pack.
Tester now for Barry into the middle pocket. This to keep the break going.
Probably play for the brown here, which makes the pot a little bit less. Probably did play for the brown, but where's the red?
Barry
going?
Hawkins, 40.
Well, he may have got away with it. It's potable, this red. A little unlucky there, went into them, but didn't go into them nicely enough from the black.
A couple of reds into the left corner. As we show you this red, you knew straight away it was going to hit the left hand jaw of the pocket. So Ronnie still needs a good long pot to get himself in here. He's got the two reds the left side. It's whichever one will get him nicely onto the black. Out there. If he misses the black, he would have been perfect. This is a bit more difficult. Just clipped the black on the way past. Oh, he's cueing beautifully though. He made that look so easy, Willie. That wasn't an easy pot there by any means. But there we just show you him flicking the black, but he made the black look easy.
Fabulous shot, wasn't it, Dennis? And there's a little wry smile from Ronnie there when he was not expecting that flick on the black, but the black he played was superb. And as in virtually, I was just about to say, there's another frame before when Barry Hawkins has scored big. Ronnie's come straight back and scored big as well, but that was a bad miss for Ronnie. Just didn't stay on the cue ball there. John Parrott was talking in the studio at half-time how sometimes you can decelerate. That was a deceleration in that shot. Looked like he got an electric shock from somewhere, I think, there, Ronnie.
Well, a good opener from Barry Hawkins. Every chance now to make Ronnie pay for that miss. And it will annoy Ronnie, make no mistake about it, because it's a frame 19. He had an unbelievable clearance to pinch that on the black, but I think you could count on one hand misses like that throughout this championship from Ronnie.
Really important to leave Ronnie needing, obviously, more frames tonight than just one or two. So it's very important today to match this for Barry Hawkins.
Oh, he's put himself under pressure immediately. Flicking the black now means that it's tough. Just watch the white here. Now then, a bit of pressure on this one.
If it was on its spot, you'd fancy him potting it. The fact that it's off its spot, it's not a natural shot. Probably playing plain ball, just white into the pink. How has he covered the pocket?
Barry Hawkins, 9.
Oh, there's not much of a pocket there, is there, to squeeze it in off, but he's got a red that will go past the pink, I think. Or will it? Maybe it doesn't. If the red, well, no problem. He's a bit close to it, but shouldn't be a problem. So a second chance to nick this frame.
1.
Should Ronnie go on to win this frame, which is a possibility now where the balls are situated. There's been at least 3 frames now that Ronnie is possibly, well, he's definitely pinched 2 already, but he could be pinching another one here. So Barry Hawkins could have been really, really close to Ronnie in this match, if not in front. I mean, you think he's been 3 times now for over 40 points in front in frames and lost all of them. Not perfect though this time.
8.
Yeah, that's where he wanted to be, where the circle, and these reds would have been easier. It's a tricky little one with the rest here.
Just 9.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, that didn't look like it was going to go in. That's probably with the new cloth, the slide in off the jaw of the pocket.
Well, when you consider how good a player Ronnie O'Sullivan is, which means he doesn't play too much with the rest, he's missed 1 rest shot out of 18 in this final.
16.
When you consider he's probably played another 50 shots left-handed as well, which would have meant he'd been using the rest a few more times.
17.
Back in prime position now. Probably play for the red in baulk this time if he doesn't fancy the pink. I don't know, I just wonder whether he'll play the little slow cannon onto the yellow, and if he finishes short he's still on it. No, he's taking the pink first. This will be another body blow for Barry Hawkins. I mentioned earlier he's already lost 2 frames from 50 in front. This could be a third.
23. 24.
And if that was the case, 5 frames in front would be a tall order for Barry, but he did come back against Ricky Walton. He was 4 frames behind and he hung in there, and that was a terrific victory against the man from Chester.
31. Yep.
Now getting the brown back on the spot is ideal for Ronnie because it's blocking the path for the yellow at the moment. He might not be able to reach it with a normal rest, but as our camera pans in, you can see the yellow won't go past the brown there. That's why he played for the brown.
This is Barry's last hope of a positional shot going wrong, because Ronnie doesn't have a lot of room to get onto the red. There's a chance he could underhit this, but he hasn't. He's finished perfect, and that looks now that Ronnie is going to pinch another frame from 40 points behind.
$35. 36. 40. 42.
Yeah, Barry did have his chance, and it was just one shot where he
45.
flipped the black on the way across to leave himself nicely on it, and then he left himself a more difficult one, and this has been the result.
49.
Barry was hurt, of course, when he led by 46 in frame 20. O'Sullivan cleared with 55. He responded 54. With a break of 90 in 21. Ronnie made a 1-3-3 in the next game. He responded then with a 40 break to get well in front in this frame. It looks like O'Sullivan is going to pinch another one. This is frame ball. the standard has been excellent. Both
60.
players appear in good scoring form, but O'Sullivan looking at his imperious best as we speak. 40 points behind, cleared with 67. O'Sullivan goes further clear and now leads by 14 frames to 9.
And for the first time in this final, he's up by 5 frames. And he's made a habit recently, John, of just pinching those crucial frames, hasn't he?
Well, if your memory's long enough and you cast your way back to the first day at the Crucible Theatre this year, you'll have seen a match where he played Marcus Campbell, which could very easily have been 7 frames all, but it ended up being 10-4 because he made 2 magnificent clearances and another one you'd expect him to get. But those 3 clearances changed the scoreline, and that's what's happened in this as well.
And he's drawing ever closer to what would be a staggering achievement. Just for those of you who are not aware of it, if you've been living on Mars, he hasn't played for almost a year. And Steve, you know, as great former champions yourselves, if you had contemplated coming back after almost a year out without lifting a cue effectively in anger, what would you have been most worried or scared about? Would you have ever contemplated anything as daft as that?
No, because I think we'd have probably in our sort of prime just wanted to have played in more events. It doesn't appear that that's the case for Ronnie, but you certainly would have come back and been worried that perhaps the standard had moved on, or certainly that you wouldn't be able to pick up the reins, obviously, because you were rusty. But I think you would have treated it as a challenge. And actually, you know, it could take the heat off a bit in a way. All the players have been playing all year round, not necessarily burnout, but their expectations are very high coming into the World Championship, especially if they've won an event during the season. So Ronnie's expectations were perhaps lower, which in some ways could have helped him.
What would you have been most concerned about, Stephen, about your form coming in after such a long gap?
Well, John brought it up there that his first match against Marcus Campbell, he was always going to score heavily because that's his biggest suit. But when he pinched those frames, that's the first thing. When you used to have long summer breaks, that was my first sign in a first tournament that you were back and ready to win. If you could pinch frames with, like, you know, frame winning breaks, and that was the first thing that I noticed. I commentated on his first run against Marcus Campbell, and I thought he can be a competitor here.
As a man who's won 7 of these things before, how do you rate what is going on right now?
Well, I said it when he first said it wouldn't be that much of a shock to me if he won it because he's so good. But it doesn't take away what an achievement it is, but it just shows how much better he is than everyone else.
Back we go.
Yeah, there's no substitute for sheer natural brilliance. And even though he had that year out, he had been practicing, he'd been doing a few exhibitions. And someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan doesn't forget how to play, even in the match arena. Makes a mistake, there's a pot on, but when you're 14-9 behind, these pots are not easy.
Yes, look how tight that is on the cushion. He's got to keep perfectly still on this and just roll it in dead weight. This is missable. Well played, well played. A lot of pressure there, as Dennis mentioned. It was so easy to push that thin or thick, but he played it right into the heart of the pocket.
Well, he's been kept away from the table. That break of 133, and then that's 67 there. Okay, had a chance in the previous frame, but wouldn't it be nice if he could clinch the frame here with this visit? Just to show everyone that he's not going anywhere. He wants to be out here in the evening session, trying to win his first ever World Professional Snooker Championship. It's never over till it's over.
Purposely playing for either of the 2 reds in the middle, they both pot.
16.
Little surprised he's taking the outside red to go up for the blue. Oh, the other one doesn't pot, maybe. There we can see it doesn't.
17.
Well, this frame and one more before the night session, which starts again at 7 o'clock. Can he win them both and get back to 14-11?
20.
Just come up a little bit short. Should be okay. There's a red either side of the pack. Had he have come further out into the table, he could have played the green and disturbed the pink and reds, but very difficult to do that from this angle. Needs to keep rolling. Another couple of inches and he's absolutely perfect, but it's just pulled up a little bit. He'll have to get the
24.
rest out, but he could slide off the bunch here and finish nicely onto the black. If he just slips off the side of the pack here, he could screw back or he could run through. Is he going to try and free the pink? He's tried to free the pink and he has done.
25.
Lots of screw, and you can see him follow through with the cue to create the backspin. I might have to leave the black into the same pocket, just stun in round the
31.
back of the black. Just looking at the angle, so he's got to be pretty precise with this. Delicate little shot to leave himself nicely on the black.
32.
Very nicely played. And if that red at the back of the little bunch of 4 goes, he's perfect. And it does, and he'll open the other ones up, but he could have done with just a little bit further up the table.
This is not guaranteed to
39.
get good position here, because he'll have to screw this red in. It's sometimes best to play with the reverse side here to try and bring the white up for blue or bought colour rather than risk playing for the pink. So this could go wrong. But happily for Barry Hawkins supporters, if the pink pots, it'll be a bonus. This is close and it does pot.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, he can get that, and he's opened the reds beautifully. So this pink, and it's a great chance. Well, that was absolutely ridiculous what happened there. That is probably the worst kick I've seen this year in the World Championship. Watch the pink. You can't believe this. Look, it's gone full ball onto the red. Well, that's the last thing that Barry needed.
Well, we're just talking, Dennis, weren't we, at the first frame, that they need to start having a thicker cloth now to stop these kicks, because a lot of times it doesn't make any difference. But, I mean, there's an example of Barry can get back into this frame, back into the match, and possibly win the frame at that visit, and that, for no fault of his own, got a kick.
Yeah, there was a stat there, 3 kicks to 2. That's a stat that I would love not to be seeing in the game of snooker, because it does make the player look a little bit silly, and it's not your fault at all. I mean,
well, you called it the worst kick of the championship,
9.
Dennis, and I have to agree with you, because the pink clearly potted, didn't it, into both jaws. Surely it can't happen again. Another frame from 40 in front that O'Sullivan can pinch.
16. 17.
it's not going to be easy, but we know that Ronnie relishes the situation when it's even more difficult. He's up at 94% pot success rate. I mean, Barry's at 92%.
24.
That's a very good standard also. Now, what about the tournament pot success rate? 93%. Barry just dropping below 90. But that standard from Ronnie O'Sullivan is exceptional. Takes some beating.
I totally agree with the pundits in the studio there saying that Ronnie O'Sullivan is the best player in the world. If you take these 4 frames
25.
away now that he looks like pinching from 40 behind and put them onto Barry's score, you know, Barry Hawkins would have competed very well in this match and still may do so.
32. $33.
Well, he's gone a little bit close to the cushion, but that's okay. He can drop the blue in and he'll finish nicely in behind the 2 reds. He's hit it a little harder, but I think he's just about okay. He had a choice. He's got the one to the middle. If it stops up a little
38.
bit short, he's got the other one. Not this time. Ronnie knew.
Sullivan, 38.
He knew it wasn't in. As soon as he hit that, he was up and walking round. Always difficult when you're that close to them. Wasn't far away.
Oh, not of idea where the cue ball's going to end up here, because he's going to have to come in and out of balk, and with the black being off its spot, needs to avoid the cannon on the green. Oh, he's overcut it. But I think it's safe. It's past the middle pocket, so obviously he can't cut this one in.
Little smile from Barry there. He's one of the nicest lads you could ever wish to meet. Have a look at this. It didn't look as if he could overcut it. 1, 2 jaws and out. Yeah, we're talking mid-sessions about characters in the game. All these lads are terrific characters. Okay, that may not be laughing and joking on the table, but it's a different game these days. A lot of money in the game for these boys to play for. You know, they're all one-man businesses. And not all snooker players make a lot of money. The top boys do, but you know, it's a tough old sport. It's like golf. And it's getting tougher with the game opening up.
Bit disappointed kissing the blue, but the red's not come really far enough over the left-hand side of the table to make this cut easy. You can cut it in. He'll only just miss the kiss on the red, actually, if he pots it in the middle of the pocket. If he pots it thick, he may miss the kiss quite easily, but once again, he won't have a lot of idea where the cue ball's going to end up. Potted it far too thick, of course. That's the reason he missed the red completely, so he'll be pretty pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, Barry Hearn's done a terrific amount for the game of snooker. That's why the players have so many tournaments to play and lots of prize money. And there's a gentleman there, 16 times world champion. Barry Hearn looks after him. And if you want to book that man through Barry Hearn for a darts exhibition, make a noise like £8,000. That's what they get these top, well, certainly Phil does. Ronnie's made a mess of the safety. It was a tough one.
Barry leads by 2 points. We'll need all the 3 reds and possibly yellow, and this is an excellent chance to do just that. He had the first chance in this frame. He must have felt he'd let it slip when Ronnie O'Sullivan replied with a break of 38, but he missed that red in the middle. Barry's been given a second chance. And I think, on reflection, he deserves to win one of the last 2 frames.
8. Nine.
Now, in some ways, it'd be a lot better to go up for one of the baulk colours here rather than
16.
Play from black to yellow, simply because it's not on its spot. It's not a natural place. If you've got a good angle on this red, play out for the green or brown, and then it's absolute certainty to get onto the yellow. So he's just looking to see if I play for the black, you know, have I got enough room to negotiate the path from cushion to get onto the yellow nicely. If it was on its spot, no problem. Don't blame him at all for this, but just needs an angle on this
17.
green to be able to get onto the yellow.
Yeah, he's absolutely perfect on it. That took all the risk out of having to get from black to yellow.
.22.
Now just the green needed, and it has pulled up. I thought he was going to be hampered with the blue, but he's not. Well done, Barry Hawkins.
25.
And the family are certainly pleased. His sister Tanya getting really excited there. Quite understandable.
.29. .34.
Nicely played.
.40.
Yeah, that's a terrific clearance. He had an earlier break of 40. He had that terrible contact. Now he's cleared up a 47. He keeps himself right in it, but he's still 4 behind. It's not over yet.
And it's amazing, Dennis, isn't it, that a kick could have cost him the frame there. We see that Pink is going to play here, and I mean, just to explain that, I mean, why should this happen, Dennis, in today's field, really?
It's still difficult to describe what causes the kick, but this here, he's perfectly. There was plenty of room for the Pink to go in, and just have a look at this. He's not cued it badly. He's cued it for the Pink to go through the gap there, and he just pushes the cue through. Have a look at the Pink, and it's absolutely straightened up. And I'm pleased that that didn't cost him the frame there.
I agree. I mean, Ronnie then missed a red in the middle, but just look at it from a side angle where it's absolutely bouncing. And we'll go back to the studio now to see what they think about it.
Yes, thanks, Willie. It was almost poetic justice, actually, after that rotten kick, Steve. But he's hanging on in there, Barry Hawkins, isn't he?
Yes, like a terrier around your leg he is. He's done so well. I mean, like, he's playing probably the best match of his life. Against somebody else in the final, it may be a completely different story, and Barry Hawkins could be world champion. But it's so tough playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. You know, he's such a strong player in all departments.
He is indeed. I think you've got to pay tribute to Barry Hawkins, though, because only a couple of days ago, on Saturday morning, when he was playing in his semi-final, he just looked completely all at sea out there. He did not seem happy at all. What's changed?
He found some form. It's as simple as that. He had absolutely none in those first 2 sessions with Ricky Walden, and quite how he was 8-6 behind with the highest break of 36. is just beyond me. But what he showed was persistence and character to keep in there. He found form later on in the sessions in the match and came through, and he's found form in this final. He's played really well. I agree with Steve. If he'd been playing anybody else here, he'd probably be in front.
Indeed, and Stephen, you made a very valid point. Had to take something from this mini session just to keep a foothold in the match here.
Yeah, but I think what's happening today is just enjoying the whole situation of it, the atmosphere that's around it. It's such a massive event. You know, everybody's here, all these important people. I think he's just enjoying the occasion, and he's totally relaxed.
Yeah, definitely. All right, but he's got work to do. 4 behind again.
I think, Dennis, in this semi-final, I mean, he just almost looked like a fish out of water. Thought it was a great chance to get to my first Crucible final. Probably the occasion got too much for him. Did really well to win it, and now he's totally relaxed.
You hit it on the head, Willie. That's exactly what happened. Both Barry and Ricky Walden. And he was 12-8 behind, and somehow he dug very deep to get himself into the final, and he is enjoying himself out there. That's what you start playing the game for. As a crowd appreciate that good safety. Your ambition is to get to the Crucible when you turn professional, and your ambition is to one day lift the trophy. Just over the 6 hours, and it's been compulsating snooker. I just invented a new word there, Willie. Compulsating snooker.
I must admit, I get myself in a tangle now and again, Dennis. Bit shorter pace, but luckily I don't think there's a red that he can get back to balk from. I mean, a potable red, so it may just be a safety shot. There's a couple of reds that pot, but he'll be careering into other reds.
Tricky here just to avoid the black and the pocket. Judged perfectly.
Same scenario for Barry here. 2 reds that are potable, neither of which he can get back to balk, so he's going to have to find a safety shot. And not easy. That red on the left-hand side cushion is causing a problem here in this safety exchange. And if he plays the blue's the problem as well, getting back into balk here if he plays round 2 cushions. Has he missed the blue? He has. Well done. That was the thing. You had to miss that blue then.
Already the reds are getting very awkward here. That's what it's all about. Lady on top of the World Championship trophy that's been around since 1927. Who's going to get their name on it this year? Will it be Ronnie for the 5th time? Or will we see a new name on there? This last frame could tell the story. Because if Barry can take it and get back to 14-11, there'll be a lot of snooker to be played this evening. 18 is the magic number, and you can see all the famous names on there. Oh, what a shot he's played there. Trying to just nestle on the red. That's just to the left of the black. Looks good to me. Looks very good to me. He might be back in the similar position again. Not this time. No snooker and a path back for Barry.
Slightly misjudged safety, but no red potable that he can get onto a colour, so we're playing back into the balk area again. Both players have been under hitting that kind of shot when they're playing two cushions back into balk. There were suggestions that Table was playing a little bit slower yesterday, but it appears to be playing a little bit slower today, I think, the way they're playing the safety shots.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about the table and the new cloth, but this was Ronnie yesterday just checking to see if the cloth was maybe a little loose there. But I think when they're in the balls there's no problem. He was checking both sides of the table. They still get the reaction out of the cloth. It might just be slightly slower, but not necessarily a bad thing, and I think the breaks that have been made have proved that.
Yes, I think the standard in this final has been absolutely fabulous. I mean, both players have been scoring pretty heavily. Both had a break of 133. Well, this is one of those he can definitely take on Barry. He's just looking to see if he can screw back off the cushion just before the middle pocket and be nicely on the pink. But he's got to... He can't afford to come too far over, just in case he misses it.
I think he's looking at this red, and it looks to me he would cannon into the black and maybe bring it into play if he pots it. He's freed the black. He was hoping to knock the black towards the pocket. He made a pretty good job of it. Deserves to be on the pink, but it's not a gimme. He's unlucky with the kiss there. Mind you, I think at one stage he would have been concerned about the pink, as it looked as if it was going to hit the jaw of the pocket there, but not a favourable kiss on that red. Miss along the cushion. Dear me, this is difficult. The one next to the black he's looking at. If it's tight on the cushion, he could take it on, but he's looking for something else, but there's very little else available, only a safety, and not easy to get a good safety shot.
Well, that really is unlucky. I mean, okay, the pink didn't go in the centre of the pocket, which have made the position slightly more difficult, but he's very unlucky not to have some sort of pot on here. He's almost on 2 reds into the left-hand corner, but not nicely on either of them. It looks like he's found one into the... Doesn't look like it passes the green, but I presume it must do. It's amazing he's awkward on all 3 reds that are potable. Then he's looked at the one past the green, the one past the black, and the other one past the black.
He can play this one, but will he play it with a bit of pace or try and drop it in, get a bit of safety if he misses? Played it with a pace. Nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't go over the middle pocket.
Barry Hawkins 7.
He's got a good cue ball, as you can see. If you were right in behind that red, you could pot it into the left middle pocket, but close to the cushion. Still tried it, but that was near enough impossible from that position.
Oh, nice angle to get onto the black, but it's too dangerous. That's the reason he's queuing back, queuing with bottom on the ball to take the ball back into baulk. I mean, the easier pot would be to roll it in, but if he'd have missed it, he'd have left the 2 reds that are behind the black spot in the right-hand corner. Lovely angle there, but it was risky to get onto the black. Very rarely these days you see top players play a double, but that's a double that could be the catalyst of making a rather large break in this last frame of the afternoon session.
Funny enough, that double was his first pot for 18 minutes, and he's got an angle to get up to the red above the blue.
Three.
The last frame of the last session, I've never seen Ronnie concentrate so hard to take it. He played some unbelievable tactical play and little snookers, and he knew the importance of opening up that 3-frame advantage. He's doing the same here.
Four.
He's going to be hampered. Maybe tied up, and the way he's finished on this red, he couldn't do anything else when he just dropped that in. He's just looking to see if he could possibly pot the black. What a bonus that would be. We'll find out shortly whether it pots. Ronnie thinks
12.
It will.
Just enough room to hit the red that's directly above the black. And that's turned out to be perfect. And this looks like a chance now to win the frame. Just
19.
Just move that red just above the black, just by a fraction, which made the black easier to get onto now. When he's shaking his head, maybe he feels that the angle he has on the red is not perfect.
Yeah, I think he's worried if he cannons the other red that he'd go out of position, but he should be okay. Well, he didn't risk playing for the black, so
20.
he's perfect on the blue. So he took the element of risk out of it there, Willie.
Great shot, wasn't it? I've got to be honest, I thought he'd play for the black, but he thought he could have flicked that red towards the black and maybe not on it, but he's absolutely perfect on the blue.
It's taken Ronnie over 3.5 minutes for this break
25.
because he's taking his time. He knows the importance of it, which is incredible when you think back
26.
to that maximum break in 1997 when he made it in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. It'll never be equalled in the history of the game, that.
Slightly, you'd like to be exactly straight on this red, but there's a gap in between the two reds to screw across and play
31.
the black into the right-hand corner. I presume it pots in there. Not too sure they can get onto it in the same pocket. No, could hold it for that
32.
pocket, so this is a great chance now to win this frame and take a 5-frame lead.
94% pot success rate. That is going some, I can tell you.
Yeah, the boys were saying in the studio, weren't they, that Barry Hawkins with a 91% pot success rate would have beaten most players in the tournament. He's unlucky to have played Ronnie O'Sullivan in top form.
39.
Yeah, it would have beaten most normal players.
40.
Because the angle he has, he may risk playing the cannon onto the red and pink at exactly the same time, which pushes them both out of the way. There it is, little cannon to bring them both out of the way. Perfect on the red.
47.
Looks like he may have to go for the blue here, but that shouldn't prove a problem.
48.
And we talk about his positional play again, and he's just absolutely perfect every time. One of the sessions against Stuart Bingham, I watched it back at the hotel. It was as good a session as I've ever seen Ronnie play. And he has played some fabulous sessions of snooker.
Just shows you the standard Barry needed to play. He's
53.
made 5 breaks over 40 in this session this afternoon in the 8 frames, and is only going to win 3 of them.
54.
He's going to need one more red to make absolutely certain of this final frame of this session.
60.
And the red above the 2 is available. So it's going to be 15-10, but I'll tell you what, it's far from finished.
65.
Barry Hawkins will have something to say this evening, you would feel. If he gets a chance, that
66.
Once again, this break didn't look on when he started. The black was pretty surrounded by a lot of reds. It finished low on the first 2 or 3 blacks. The pink was out of commission because the reds were around it as well. And he's made 73 and counting, which could possibly end up being the 54th century of the tournament and the 13th for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Another exhibition positioning shot. The break goes to 81.
82.
It's all about the tricky red along the cushion as to whether he gets another century.
If he does, of course, it'll extend the winning
89.
centuries in the final to 6.
90.
And he's got to get nicely on the green. Has he got an angle to get over in behind it?
97.
Doesn't appear so, does it? So the green at distance for a century.
99.
Well, stand by, genius at work. Another excellent century break from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's 6th in this final. And he looks totally zoned in.
Well, we've seen Stephen Fry there. We've seen Damien Hirst with a big smile on his face.
11.
This is fabulous to watch.
Well, this has been a wonderful session of snooker. Barry Hawkins would be sitting there thinking, how on earth have I only won 3 frames? I've played great. But that's what happens when you play a player at the top of his form. The audience stand up, a standing ovation from this packed Crucible crowd. Ronnie O'Sullivan taking what could be an unassailable lead into the final tonight. He leads by 15 frames to 10.
And yet another record has been pinched from under the nose of Stephen Hendry today, because that was Ronnie's 6th century of this Crucible final, beating the record that Stephen jointly held with John Higgins and Matthew Stevens. Extraordinary standard as we walk Barry Hawkins back to his dressing room, and he's putting up a heck of a fight. But Stephen, let's not go into the records business here, but let's get your assessment of the way Ronnie is demolishing Barry in that session there.
Yeah, I mean whenever he's put to the test, he's stepping up a gear. But if you look at the 3 sessions, it's been 5-3, 5-4, 5-3. So he hasn't completely taken Barry Hawkins apart. But obviously when you multiply those 3 sessions up, it's a massive lead going into the final session.
Indeed, the overall point score, when you look at what he's achieved and the standard that he's playing to, but you could feel, John, in that last frame of the session, how important Ronnie sensed it was.
Well, it's exactly the same as the one last night. I mean, he played a granite final frame to win it. He knew how important it was to get that 5-frame lead. Same thing again. As soon as he saw his chance, switched on, everything fully focused onto it. And he's brilliant at it. I mean, the clearances to go ahead in the frames, fantastic. And to press on again in the match, he just knows when to do it.
He does. Steve, I was looking back at some of the stats from the last few matches. Barry Hawkins was 9 frames to 10 down against Selby, won the last 4. He was 12-8 down to Walden, won 9 of the next 10 frames. He's going to have to produce something of that magnitude this evening.
Yes, he has to, but that's not necessarily going to guarantee he can get over the line against Ronnie O'Sullivan, because Ronnie O'Sullivan in this event hasn't lost a session. At best anybody's been able to do is to hold him to a level, and they've played their brains out to play that. So what's going to happen tonight is probably going to be shared frames at worst for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's over the line.
Indeed. So he appears to be on his way to a 5th Crucible title, but let's pay some tribute to Barry here, because he really has stuck at him. Every time he's had a slap, he's responded himself.
He's been brilliant, honestly. He's played probably it's the best match he's ever played, because it's the most significant one, and he's played to a standard that, as I say, against a lot of players would have had him in front, and he's kept on coming in there, and every time, as you say, he's had something where he's had a slap, if you like to say it like that. He's come right back and give him another one.
Indeed. Stephen, what can we expect this evening? What would be your philosophy? What would be your strategy as you go out this evening in Ronnie's shoes?
In Ronnie's shoes, he'd just be wanting to finish it as soon as possible. He doesn't want to let Barry have any hope whatsoever. So he'll be fired up to win that very quickly.
And the comfort levels? Ronnie's been in so many of these things now, and he's never lost in a final. How much does that play into his hands?
Well, it's obviously he's got all the experience in the world, hasn't he? But I agree, the first frame tonight is very, very important. If he wins it, I think he'll kick on from there.
OK. Steve, what can we expect this evening, do you think? Does Barry have any answer at this stage?
Yes, he does, because he can go out and probably relax and enjoy it for the occasion and just see where the storyline leads him. And from that perspective, you may see him queuing quite freely and enjoying that first session. But he's got to win the session at the very least. OK, well, he's certainly justifying his performance out there, Barry Hawkins. It's been great to see him do that. But as Willie Thorne said, there is a genius at work out there, and we'll be back